I'm Stephen Foskett, the organizer of the Tech Field Day event series, and we are here in San Francisco. We've brought in a group of independent writers, speakers, bloggers, podcasters, people who are influencing opinion on enterprise IT equipment to talk with companies in their space. The videos you're about to see are a discussion between our Field Day delegates and companies, including Avere, who we have presenting now. If you'd like to learn more about Tech Field Day, go to techfieldday.com. You can learn how to be a presenter or a delegate at a future event. You can also find lots of our videos on youtube.com/techfieldday.
I'm Scott Jeschonek. I'm the Director of Product Management at Avere Systems, and I'm joined here with my partner in crime, Bernie.
Hi, I'm Bernie Behn, Technical Marketing Engineer at Avere, and we're now going to talk about the Avere C2N product. Okay, so the Avere C2N is our cloud core NAS system. That is why it's called C2N, CCN. And really the overview is about, this is our first product that integrates the edge and core storage components of the architecture into a single solution. Really the benefits that we're driving for here is the simplicity of the NAS interface, the object scalability and durability, and obviously providing that kind of paved path towards cloud awareness and the full hybrid cloud vision. So, on the right here, we have a picture of our typical C2N configuration, which has 600 terabytes of usable capacity spread across 8 different nodes. When we talk about what the hardware configuration is, so we have a minimum triple replication config, which basically creates triplicates of every object that is put out there. That has 120 terabytes of usable capacity. And then if you want to go for the more resilient and durable erasure coding in terms of being able to sustain different types of failures and gain more storage efficiency, there you go with a minimum of 6 CX200 nodes, and that gives you 480 terabytes of usable capacity.
So just one comment on this. One of the motivations for doing this, we do work with object store vendors. The typical configuration of their solutions are large, right? Much larger. And we were running into a class of customer that were looking for POSIX compliant working space or archive, but didn't need 4 petabytes or even 2 petabytes and didn't want to spend the additional money to have that. And so we were getting asked, can we provide something or do we work with a partner that has this, et cetera? So I digress. I just wanted to give some of the drive.
All these blades are 1U essentially, and they each contain 12 hot swappable drives for dealing with actual individual drive failures and whatnot. But essentially, we've integrated object storage software onto them that now we can talk to using our Flash Cloud product. It's based on the OpenStack Swift that comes from SwiftStack, and obviously we offer both the triple replication and erasure coding type protection schemes, and you can even go into the geodispersal type setup with separate physical sites to further protect against site failure, entire loss of an entire data center.
Where do you decide? Where do you make the decision to use erasure coding or replication?
I think it typically comes from the customer demand in terms of what kind of hit they want to take on the usable capacity versus raw, or if they want.
I get that. The question is, where is this a switch I'm flipping, per bucket per?
Oh no.
What?
It's a setup as part of the.
Yeah, it's set up when you actually
at the beginning
construct the system.
So it's a system-wide configuration decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you change between the two at any point?
I asked about that to the engineering team this morning, thinking you might ask that, and they were like, with some effort.
Yeah.
I believe was the response. So it's probably not as easy as you would like.
And what's the size where this fits the need that you're meeting where somebody isn't already?
Well, so at the low side, you're looking at 120 terabytes of object storage with a POSIX file front end on it. I don't think there's a whole lot of people that are looking at that space.
Right.
Our stated max at this point is up to 5 petabytes, but that's sort of if you want to spend that much and go to that size, that's how high you can go. We're thinking it's probably more on the 1 to 2 petabyte on the top line. And again, this doesn't preclude us from working with the vendors that you saw us list before.
Is there another motivation for doing this besides just that there was kind of an unmet need for that particular capacity? I'm just asking because you said this is one of the reasons that we did it. I'm just wondering, is there another reason, or why does this make sense?
Well, I think from a I hate this phrase, but I'll use it, the throat to choke perspective, right?
Sure.
A customer has a single experience. They're getting an object filer. They're getting the Avere head. They're using Avere support. So we're the support for the solution. And that is an attractive proposition for some people in this particular space.
Throat to
right?
choke is a fine term and well used and well understood.
Yeah.
Single point of accountability.
I like that better. That sounds nicer,
Because I don't
doesn't
want
it?
anybody choking me.
Yeah. A little hand on the shoulder kind of thing, right? Okay.
Okay, so obviously the goal with the Edge filer integrated now into this whole solution is to give you that performance tier, the all-flash SSD, high performance, low latency tier, which has the benefits of giving you the file system interface, but really what you're getting is the performance, right? Because when you're talking directly to an object store, you're talking tens of milliseconds of response times. When you're retrieving data from an all-flash tier, you're talking hundreds of microseconds of response times. And clearly for the customers that have the workloads that require these levels of performance, they need that layer to sit in between to get the performance requirements.
And this is not new. These are not new. This is our FXT product put into the joint solution.
So when you tie them all together, you end up with all the features of our Edge filer plus the value add of the core filer in terms of the capacity you're looking for, the erasure coding that you're looking for. But that basically, you can run down the list. You get our GUI, our analytics, the multi-protocol support. You have file system snapshots, global namespace, allowing you to integrate with other legacy NAS core filers or other cloud providers that you might have relationships with. Data migration and mirroring, so flash move, flash mirror, and then obviously the compression and encryption that we can leverage against a cloud core filer.
So I'm sorry I had to step off for a second. The previous slide was basically you can do your own object storage. You don't have to actually bring in a NetApp or an Isilon or something like that.
You would purchase it from us, yeah.
Right. Now, all the use cases you mentioned were very vertical specific for the most part.
Yes.
Would your own, can you go back?
Yeah. Sorry.
Would your own core filer enable those kinds of use cases plus the more generalized production storage use cases like virtualization and all that good stuff?
So I think this is more predominantly oriented towards the active archive use case.
Okay.
Yeah.
People who are looking they just like see their current archive of data growing. They're facing perhaps a backup challenge, right, or an offsite challenge. They're like, okay, well, how can I leverage erasure coding in this whole environment? Great, object.
Yeah.
And then, okay, well, some other object vendor wants to sell me 5 petabytes, and I don't have a need for 5 petabytes. So that's the.
That last part came up a lot. Right.
I think we talked to a vendor that sells 5 petabytes.
Yeah.
Doesn't sell in this range.
Most of them don't play at this range. So it's just a way, somebody wants to get, and in fact, somebody wants to get started in the cloud. Maybe they want to use Amazon, but they want to have some amount of on-prem object as well. This is a nice path for them to have, because they can use our global namespace. Bucket's one directory, Amazon's another directory. Okay. You got that one already.
All right.
And yes, it's based on something. So we actually have a partnership. We'd been working closely with SwiftStack before this, and just it made a lot of sense. We were looking at different object storage options, and theirs was a relatively good performer. We have a good working relationship with these guys. We understand the product, so it just made good sense to pick this as the back end. So it's really an OEM with some adaptation from Avere.
Right, yeah, so you're at the 120 terabyte entry point. You're basically growing at 80 terabyte chunks. And then obviously you can scale above and beyond 5 terabytes. The erasure coding gives you about 60% usable of your raw. And the triple replication obviously is about a third usable of your raw, right? And then obviously the geodispersal allows you to set up physical different sites to deal with the site failure type environments.
Yeah, we actually have a couple slides on that if you want to, because we're down. You could skip this one. Terms, animation, fill it out. There you go. This is just telling you can do triple replication This is the replication that you would do with a standard Swift stack environment. 3 copies across the nodes, and these were individual 1U nodes.
And then obviously, you can lose 2 of your nodes, you still have 1 remaining copy of the data. Obviously, new objects that are put at that point don't have the resiliency and protection that you would have with the other nodes online.
Yeah.
Okay, let's build this one out
Yeah, I was
here.
gonna say.
One of the things you've not talked about in any of this is pricing. Interesting to hear.
Roughly 26 cents a gig
That's
Thereabouts.
is that for this product or for?
for this, for the C2N. C2N is the Avere and the,
And how does that compare with, say, some of the other products that we've?
some are lower, some are higher, depending. I mean, I will be clear, this is not like a price play. We're not coming in as the lowest option for everything,
I was just
because
trying to-
we're adding the POSIX capability, right?
Yeah,
That's the
just trying to
difference.
work out what would be interesting enough to make a customer change what they've already got.
Yeah, I don't think it's more, honestly, I don't think the positioning is for the change. I think it's for somebody that's looking for a specific amount of on-prem POSIX object solution. And this fills that gap.
And likely a starting point, because they just need a little bit
Yeah.
to get started.
Yeah, certainly if somebody came to us and they're like, we want to do 6 petabytes, we have good partners that do that very well. And I'm sure that's where we would direct them.
That price is for effective storage? Is it raw storage?
I think it's raw. Yeah.
It's your usable is going to depend on which of the protection schemes you're using.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the erasure coding option. This is A+4. This is based on the Swift stack erasure coding implementation. So this means you can lose 4 of the disks, 4 of the sites, or 4 of the nodes, and still be able to repair and rebuild your data from that. And then we have the multi-zone, which is A+7. This allows you to lose an entire site or zone.
Oh, and then we have the triple replication config here, right?
Yeah.
So these are just the various topologies that you can construct based on your availability requirements, your durability requirements, how many sites you might have.
Can you go back 1 slide for a second?
Sure.
So zones and regions are very different concepts for this product. The zone is within that 5 milliseconds latency between sites. So this would be more like a metropolitan area or a large campus. If you can go forward one here, the regions don't have that latency required. So this would be if you wanted, real geo distribution across distance.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you go back once, I mean, it's because the erasure coding is spanning. If you're not using, our requirement is a 10 gig interconnect with less than 5 milliseconds of latency. If you're not, you can use it. It's just going to take an awfully long time for the encoding to.
But it's going to be a synchronous write here, whereas the regional one is going to be an async write.
Right.
Right, and that's why you're restricted to using the triple replication there.
Yeah.
Why would you have the regional one if you could just put a normal FXT somewhere to just cache what you've got in the core? You're sort of fighting against your own product there, aren't you?
Makes perfect sense to me. But customers ask for all kinds of different things in all kinds of different ways. And when you ask why, you sometimes get a good reason.
The
sometimes it's because.
The reason to do it multi-region here is if you're trying to protect against like an entire city's power grid going down. And if you're looking for uptime, if you're just looking to provide the data to 3 sites, you might just put an object store at one site and remote edge filers at the remote sites.